What a nice day to spend inside playing video games with nerds on an Antwerp Convention.
This is the tale of two sunset riders who faced impossible odds to find and play the games of gods told in the stories of old. Two outlaws that spit in the face of logic and traverse Belgian wasteland. Two bandits out for a steal. Will they return with legendary loot, or will this prairie of retro games be their downfall? Find out in this week's episode of Flea Market Bandidos.
In this special episode of Flea Market Bandidos, we go out to Antwerp Con, which is a big fantasy and sci-fi convention in Antwerp.
Antwerp Con, here we come.
Yeah, Antwerp Con, it was awesome. We went there with the help of some friends. I hope we can call them friends. The Geek Station. They're a really fun bunch of people, and they really organized some great stuff. And they were kind enough to share their booth with us.
And they ran all kinds of events. There was a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, the Street Pass gathering, and a raffle actually with a lot of awesome prizes. First thing that hit us when we arrived was the amount of people there. Now, this was the 5th edition of Antwerp Con, but still a lot more people than I think either of us expected. Our main purpose there was promoting our game Homesick, which some of you might know.
By the way, keep suggesting, your suggestions are awesome, and unlike what some guy said, it's not our game, it's not up to us. You should really understand that. It's up to you to decide what's in the game. You decide, and it gets implemented. But yeah, back to Flea Market Bandidos thing.
We also heard there were going to be a lot of retro games and other game-related stuff, so we thought we'd bring the camera and film a bit for Flea Market Bandidos.
This was one huge convention, and in a way, it was the biggest flea market we ever went to, because it had so many retro games. It had so many retro games. It was quite astounding what you could find. There were so many NES titles, SNES titles. You didn't find any real consoles, I think. I don't think anybody sold consoles, but that's okay. I mean, we could have done with a new 64, a Nintendo 64, or some hookups for our, what's it called again?
Sega Master System 2.
Sega Master System 2. But at least we found a lot of games.
We found there were a ton of games, and I mean a ton of games. Like most games I ever saw together in one big hall.
Didn't buy a lot. That's kind of the downside of Antwerp Con. So, well, not just of Antwerp Con, it's of any convention, and I understand it. I mean, it's not your regular flea market. you go in knowing that games are gonna be pricey, and you can't really blame anybody for it. It's not like you going, oh, god damn it, those resellers, because it's what you expect. It's the one place you expect to find resellers. So it's kind of hard to find something that's worth your money, especially since you've paid for the entrance to the convention. But it's pretty hard to find something.
On closer inspection though, most of these games were pretty expensive. Although you could find a rare deal here and there. I mean, one booth was selling Game Boy games at €2 a piece. Mostly common titles, but you know, my library of Game Boy games is pretty small, so I'm kind of regretting not buying any.
One thing I did find was Mr. Nuts.
Got any felonies? Oh, you fell on these nuts? Oh!
You may not know this game. I'm not really sure if it's a really known game. I think I was the only guy, the only kid who had a copy of this back when I was little, and it really amazes me because it is a pretty fun game. The soundtrack can be a bit numbing. I recently noticed when playing it again. Sorry, Mom, Dad, I must have driven you insane. But this is really a fun game. I had it once when I was a child. I never got past the second world, but I intend on finishing it now. You would ask for €7. I got them down to 6 after suggesting 5. It's still too pricey, I think, for this game. You also have it on SNES version, I think. €6 for this game is probably too much, but because I never found it anywhere else before, and I've been looking, believe me, I've been looking, I thought it was worth it. Now all I need is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers, and Jurassic Park 2, and then my collection of old games that I used to own is complete.
Apart from games, they had a lot of other really awesome stuff actually. They had a lot of books, a lot of novels, illustrated novels, a lot of comic books, old school comic books, like really old comic books. And they had swords, armors, masks, everything you could imagine being part of the geek culture.
You need me in your game room?
Oh, nice.
We saw a lot of R2-D2s rolling around. At first I thought maybe, you know, in each one of them there was this little Tyrion Lannister who was controlling the things, because, you know, it's the old Simpsons joke. I feel sorry for the midget that they put in there.
Wow, an actual robot from the movie Clank Clank, you're dead! Ooh, think of how awful it would be for the poor midget inside.
Oh, boo-hoo. That's what they get paid for.
It is a pretty cool robot. I'm sorry, C-3PO. I know you're cool too, but you gotta admit, R2-D2 kicks ass.
As far as live performances went, well, I say live, but they had a robot fighting arena, which was pretty cool. You know, if you grew up in the 90s, you probably know it from TV. The robot fighting matches, and it was very similar to that, so quite a nostalgic trip.
Robot Wars, which used to be a great show when I was little. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I think you kind of outgrow it sometimes. I think I did, but it was nice to see that flashback. You know, it was pretty awesome. There were a lot of cosplayers. I think too many to count. It's the first time I went to a convention, and I was really not expecting that many. I mean, I thought, you know, in America, when you see your idols on YouTube going to Comic Con and stuff, then yeah, you see a lot of cosplayers, but you think, no, that's America. I don't really think it's all that popular in Belgium. But boy, was I wrong. I mean, I saw Deadpool, I saw people from Naruto, I saw people from Avatar: The Last Airbender, from Alien, from Predator, from Terminator, from all sorts of comic books, every science fiction fancy thing I could think of, and many I didn't even recognize. So it was really astounding. There were so many of them into it, and you know, it's kind of great. I think next time we're going to a convention, we should go as Finn and Jake. We have the costumes. You should see us in them sometimes. It's quite disturbing.
I'll put up a picture right now.
Okay. So yeah, we like cosplaying too, but I don't think we ever really did it at a cosplaying place.
We did it at a beer pong tournament.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good night. Surprisingly few Game of Thrones cosplayers, by the way. Surprisingly few. Though we did see a Son of the Harpies, and the strange thing is, with the leaked episodes, that was like the week before Antwerp Con, and they had a mask of the Son of the Harpies. So in a week time, they made this like perfect replica of the Son of the Harpies mask. That's kind of awesome. That must be one devoted fan.
One other really cool thing, I guess, that they had was wrestling. Well, I say wrestling, but I mean, I guess you're more used to it if you're living in the United States, but we don't really see a lot of that here. Like the fake wrestling, storyline wrestling.
As Flea Market Bandido, you also enjoy a little bit of violence, you know, that's the Bandido way. Yeah! Woo! So we were psyched to see a wrestling match at Antwerp Con. And I must say, it was as real wrestling. Take that fun as you want. No, but it was fun to see, and I mean, it was obviously fake, but it was impressive to see them do some of the moves they did, and we had a good few laughs. So there was this point in which 3 of them fell over and they landed in this very sexual position. One of the guys actually did fall outside of the ring and hurt himself, and that wasn't part of the show, believe me, it wasn't. So, schadenfreude. The dude that won the thing, he actually looked like, whatchamacallem again, from Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. As far as Flea Market Bandiding goes, we didn't find a lot of games. We got tempted a lot, and it was kind of this huge cock tease. It's this huge blue ball of finding video games, because they're these games, you never see them, but they're way too expensive. I think Steve had the worst of it. He saw Mega Man games he'd never seen, never actually held in his hands before, but they were just so goddamn expensive that you couldn't buy them. He couldn't buy them.
Although we didn't really find any great deals there, it was still really worth it. That's about all we've got for this special episode of Flea Market Bandidos. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to our channel. If you're liking our content so far, be sure to subscribe. Hi, my name is Steve, and this is RPG Maker Adventures, the show in which you take your ideas and turn it into a game. And we have a lot of ground to cover today, so let's get right to it.